Hey guys. I'm gonna kind of share like my testimony about this week and how it's changed my life and stuff. And I just felt challenged to share it with y'all because it really has impacted my life, and it's crazy how amazing it's been. And I'm just like ready to share it, and I'm ready to be happy, and I'm ready to just get past all the stuff that I've been through. And so I'm really nervous, but bear with me. Ever since I was little, and if you see me looking down at this, it's because I wrote it down because I'm like so nervous right now. But ever since I was little, I've always been in church. It was a mandatory thing. We went regardless if we wanted to or not, which I loved it. It was so fun. I went to Trinity Baptist Church. I would go to Sunday school every Sunday. My parents led a youth group, so we always got together with them, and we were friends with everyone. It was a small church, so we just knew everybody, and everyone loved each other. And we moved away from that church when I was really little, and we moved to Long Hollow, and Long Hollow accepted us with open arms. And I met people. I came on Wednesday nights, and it was amazing. But anyways, I'm gonna start from the beginning. We we even acted out stories in the Bible every night. It was so fun. It was so cute, and it really made me happy, and I loved doing it. So in first grade, I got saved, and you know how it is in first grade. You don't really know what you're doing. You're just kind of going along with everyone else. So that's what I did. And I thought I was the perfect little Christian, even though, no Christian is perfect. But I never read the Bible. I never told people about God. I never was in my word. The only thing I did was pray at the dinner table. And that's how some people of you are. Like, you only pray to God when you're eating food because that's just a normal thing, I guess. So, I didn't read the Bible, any of that stuff, but I was blessed with an amazing family. I had two godly parents. I never thought they did anything wrong. At the time, in fifth grade, I had a baby sister. She was really little. And then I had a brother, and his name was Will. And I really looked up to my parents because I just thought they were the most perfect people ever, which they're not. But I never thought they could do anything wrong. And then something really awful happened in my family. I still hate talking about it today. But anyways, after that thing happened, my parents split up, and I was devastated. I was so angry at God, and mostly I was upset with Him because if He loved us eternally, like everyone said He did, why would He do something so awful to my family? And it really crushed me, and I turned away from Him, and I was so upset. And I asked Him every day why He would do something so awful because I was only in fifth grade, fifth and sixth grade, and I had to grow up at such a young age and be a mother, basically, because my mom, she was upset all the time, and my dad was gone because he wasn't allowed to live with us. And it was really sad, and, I was upset all the time. Well, let me see. A couple years went by, and the same thing would happen, and it was really repetitive. Like, my parents would fight, my mom would move us to a new house, my parents would make up, then we would move to a new house to restart our family again, and then it would just repeat. They would fight, blah 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 blah. And our relatives all around us were so upset because they thought, you know what, you just need to give up already, because obviously there's nothing that's going to mend your family. Even though my parents tried, they really did try to get their marriage back together, but the bad thing is that they did it by themselves. They only worked on it themselves, and they always knew something was missing, but they didn't know what it was because they tried so hard to work through their marriage, and it never worked. Well, my parents started going to church together again, and they realized that what they were missing was God, and they never once asked God to help them in their marriage. And so I think they realized that that was what they were missing, and it was amazing. And whoever says miracles don't exist, they're lying, because God mended my family, and I still thank Him today how amazing it is, because I was ready for them to give up. We all were. We were being tugged between both of them, and if you have had your parents split up or divorced, you know what it's like to be in between the middle, or maybe you don't. But for me, it was really hard, and even though we got so much attention, it was really hard, and it was even harder for all of us to live in a house again, because I was so used to going to my dad's for a weekend and then staying with my mom. So it was really something I had to adjust to, and I was kind of upset, and I still was upset with God, even though He did this amazing thing and did a miracle and mended my family. I was so upset with Him still, because why would He even let that happen in the first place? So I faked being a Christian. I went to church still, but I never prayed. I kind of did what I did in first grade. I never did anything. Um, I faked it all up until eighth grade. Eighth grade year is a year I will never forget, and some of you probably know what happened, but I'm going to talk about it, even though I hate talking about it. I hate talking about this, so bear with me. I started feeling these feelings, and there were feelings that was something that was so unnatural to me because I had always been taught that this certain thing was wrong, and this thing was called homosexuality. And I never really understood why it was so wrong because they were just people, they loved each other, and love is a beautiful thing. So why is something so wrong with loving each other, So it was just really hard for me. And I do believe now it was Satan attacking me in my most vulnerable moment. And, I hated God. I was upset with him. So he attacked me, and he attacked me with these feelings, and they were overwhelming, and they're hard to deal with. But anyways, eighth grade year, I started dating this girl. First it started off with me liking her, and I met her and I liked her a lot, and I developed feelings with her, and she ended up asking me out, and my parents had known that I started feeling this way. They didn't know I was feeling it about a certain person, but I pulled the whole my friend is having these feelings, what should she do, which they knew they knew, like, it was the question was about me. Parents aren't as stupid as they think. But anyway, she asked me out, and I said yes. But this girl had posted the video on Facebook. They had videotaped her asking me out, which I knew she did, but I never knew that they were going to post it on Facebook, and they did. And I had no idea. And the next morning, I woke up just like every day, got ready for school, did my hair, did my makeup, got my clothes on, put my shoes on, and walked down the stairs. And the minute I walked down the stairs and saw my parents sitting on the couch crying, I knew that they knew. And long story short, they pulled me out of school and ended up homeschooling me. My mom did. And I was so mad. I was mad at God. I was mad at my parents. I was mad at everyone because it was my decision. It was my relationship, and I hated everyone for it. And I was so rebellious. And I think my mom was trying to protect me by taking me out of school, but all it did was make it worse, and it made me hate people. And so I acted on that hate, and I would bring this girl to church with me every Wednesday just so I could be with her. And I remember now thinking, oh my God, I want God to hate me right now. I want him to hate me. But guess what? He never did. He never hated me back, even though I wanted him to so much. I wanted to feel that hate from him, but he never did, because God can never hate you. And I realize that now, but it was such a mistake that I did, but I never cared. I didn't care at that point. I didn't care who I was hurting. I didn't care what I was doing. But anyways, fast forward to ninth grade. My parents decided to put me back in school. And I continued my relationship with this girl in secret. And you would think that I would learn from my mistake, but I didn't. I didn't care at all who I was hurting, because I thought I was happy, And then eventually, though, me and this girl got into a fight, and we broke up. And I remember I was so mad at her because I went through hell and back. I ruined my relationship with my family. I turned away from God. I dropped all the friends that were telling me that I was doing things wrong, and I was so mad at them. And so I think God moved her away on purpose. She eventually moved away, and I think God moved her away on purpose because he was trying to tell me, you need to stop. You need to get your life together. You need to mend your relationship with your family. You need to stop acting like such a brat all the time. And people at school didn't realize I was acting like a brat. They thought I was just acting like me. But at home, I'm two different people. I'm a brat to my parents, or I was. And, I still am sometimes because I'm a teenager. But he wanted me to stop acting so foolish, but I didn't listen to him again. And also in ninth grade year, my best friend, Kara, who is now my best friend, moved to Tennessee. And we clicked just like that. We weren't the same person at all, but we just had this like relationship where we clicked. And me and Kara would have these like really deep conversations. And one day, Kara had brought up the topic religion, and she had so much stuff to say about it. And here I was, and I had nothing to say about it. I didn't know what to say because I didn't have a religion really. I thought that since I hated God, I can never get, that relationship back with Him. And so it was really hard for me. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so alone right now. I just think it was awful because I didn't have a future. I didn't have any plans. I didn't have somewhere to spend eternal life in when I died. So it was really hard for me. So I remember sitting there and thinking, all right, God, if you give me the strength to stop thinking these feelings and stop having these feelings, and give me the strength to help myself stop acting this way with my family, it would be amazing. Just give me strength. And guess what He did? He gave me strength to stop. It was a struggle for me for a really long time. The whole ninth grade year was a struggle, and but he did it for me, and it was amazing. But I stayed away from it, homosexuality, but I never fully surrendered my life to Christ because I still didn't get what was so wrong with it, even though I wasn't into it anymore. And I still did things I'm not proud of, like get drunk and use awful language. That was just my thing. Like, I thought I had to fit in and, get drunk all the time and cuss, and you know how it is, like, younger people, they feel like they have to cuss to, like, prove a point. And some people just cuss because it's in their vocabulary, but for me, it was just because I had to prove a point. So one Sunday night, because now I go to the night services, which is amazing because I don't like getting up in the morning. But on Sunday night, Pastor David started talking about, coincidentally, the topic homosexuality because, he's such an amazing pastor and he has such an amazing way with words. So, like, when he talked about it, it literally, like, got my full attention and it crushed me because he read straight from the Bible. And I always thought the Bible beats around the bush. It never really says it's wrong, but it does say in the Bible that it's wrong. It does say it's not just homosexuality that's wrong, that getting drunk is wrong, divorcing is wrong, it's still wrong. So it's not just homosexuality, but it is one of those things that's wrong, and it's a sin. And so it killed me when he preached about it. And I just felt like he was the only one talking to me. And a couple weeks later, I went to church camp, Long Hollow, and it's called Horns Creek. And if you don't know about it, you need to know about it. It is the most amazing place ever. You will have the best time with your friends. It's like a big fun fest, but also it's really, really powerful. And it's crazy how much fun you can have, but have such a crazy relationship with God. But for me, I wasn't going for God at all. I was going to have fun. I was going to look at cute guys because there was a lot of them there. So it was crazy. So anyway, God did not care about me only wanting to go for fun or cute guys. He had a completely different plan, and it changed my life because the very first night I went there, I got saved again. I got rededicated. I don't even know what's called, but it was crazy because one minute I was here, oh my gosh, I'm here for the fun, this is the best time ever, I love having so much fun. And the next I was bawling my eyes out, because I was so guilty about everything. But what really happened was, like I said, I brought Kara and Aubrey with me, and I wanted them to get something out of it. I didn't really care about me getting something out of it, but, whatever. We had a guest speaker. I think his name was Chris Lovell, and he talked to us about how, like, we can be, like, underappreciated for what God had done for us because, he's done so much for us and we don't really appreciate it. They turned a clip on from the movie called Passion of the Christ, and only one word to describe that movie is intense. It showed Jesus being beaten. It showed him bleeding with a crown of thorns being pushed into his head. It showed him walking down a road broken and crying while carrying a cross that was so heavy. It showed him putting people putting nails into his hands and feet, just like going like that all the way through, and his feet. And it showed him being beaten with, like, spears. And, they mocked him. And they said, hey, this is Jesus, we need to put him on a little purple robe while it's, covered in blood. And we need to put a crown on his head because he's God. But they put a thorn of crown and stuck it into his head, and just put it all in there. And, he's bleeding from the inside and out. And they put him up on this cross. And it showed him dying for our sins. And he willingly died for us. He did not do it because God asked him to. He did it because he was willing to die for our sins. And I think that's so amazing because it's me making the mistakes. It's you making the mistakes, and he died for us because we make these mistakes. And it's just crazy. And even though those awful people were whipping him while he was dying, he looked up at God and said, "Forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do." And that killed me. That killed me. He was apologizing on their behalf when they were doing something so awful. And when the video turned off, the room was quiet. There was not anyone talking. There was not anyone laughing. There was not anyone moving. It was just quiet. And basically, during the video, I started getting this tugging on my heart, and I couldn't breathe, and my heart was just beating so fast. And so I started crying, and I couldn't stop. It was just coming down my face, and I didn't realize I was crying until I was wiping in my eyes, and I had buckets coming out, and I probably looked awful, but I didn't care because, it was just so emotional. And Chris asked us to close our eyes, and he asked us to bow our heads, and he said, if anyone in this room is needing Jesus, is wanting Jesus to come into your life and save you, on the count of 3, you're going to stand up out of your chair. And I didn't want to do that. I was scared what people would think, like, what if they judge me, because what if I was the only one standing up? It was so scary, And so something really, really amazing happened. And it was God, and he talked to me. Listen to me, I've never had God talk to me. I didn't think it was real. When people had told me stories about God talking to them, I was like, okay, Jesus doesn't talk to you. God has never talked to you before. You're lying to yourself. Well, guess what? God talked to me, and he told me not to be afraid. And that is the most amazing feeling I've never felt in my life. And my whole body got chills because of how amazing it was. It was insane. I've never felt that before. So the minute Chris counted to 3, I stood up. And I didn't care what anyone thought of me when I stood up, because he had talked to me and told me not to be afraid, and I thought I was the only one that was going to stand up, and I wasn't. There was so many people that stood up, including Kara and Aubrey. And the biggest thing I probably will never remember is looking into Kara's eyes, and I was crying my eyes out because I just wanted God to forgive me, and I wanted him to forgive me for all the bad things I've done. And I thought I was going to be the only one crying, but she was crying too. So it was just a really powerful moment. It was really hard. And I walked down to the stage. We all did. We grabbed each other's hands, and we walked down the stage. And he prayed over us, and he told us that we're going to be saved, and we're going to be rededicated, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to live for Christ and stuff. And it was amazing. And I just felt a weight being lifted off my shoulders because I was so happy that God could forgive me. And I'm not a perfect Christian, and I never will be. But I went to that church camp looking to have a good time, and I came back extremely passionate about my faith, And despite what people may think, not all Christians have it together. We struggle. We struggle with a lot of things, but we do have one thing in common, and that is our love for Jesus Christ. And I shared this testimony hoping that I could help somebody, because I know what it's like to have your parents split up and fight. I know what it's like to struggle with your sexuality. I know what it's like to try to fit in with people and get drunk every weekend just because you want to fit in and have a good time. But you know what else I know is that I know I'm going to heaven one day because I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and he turned my life around. And I just felt challenged to share that with you guys, and I wanted to let you know you're not alone. And I'm not the same person I was before I came back from camp and before I got rededicated. I've changed, and I am so thankful I've changed, because now I know for sure I'm going to be up there, and I'm going to meet God, and I'm going to tell him in person how happy I am that I get to be up there with him. And I'm going to walk those streets, and I'm going to be Jim, and I'm going to be so happy because he made a place for me in heaven. God has made a place for everyone in heaven. Regardless if you think that you've made so many mistakes, if you ask God to forgive you, and you mean it with all your heart, He will forgive you. It doesn't matter what you've done. I mean, you could even murder a person and God would forgive you, which I hope you don't murder a person, but it doesn't even matter what you do. So I just felt challenged to tell you guys this, and I hope that it's helped you in some way. And if it hasn't, oh well, I'm just glad I got the courage to do this, because before camp I would have never ever posted this because I was so scared what people would think of me. But I'm proud to be a Christian, and I'm proud to be living for Jesus, and I'm proud that I'm saved, even though I've done so many bad things. And I'm still gonna make mistakes. It's not something that you just stop making mistakes, but He's gonna forgive me, and I'm gonna try my best to do what He wants for me, and I'm gonna try to live the plan. I'm gonna try to figure out my plan, what He wants for me to do in life. And I feel like that's sharing my testimony with you guys right now. I feel like I need to share my testimony because I know what it's like. I've been there, I've done that, so I just feel like I need to share it with you guys, and I hope you liked it. So yeah, bye.